Alright, so this is a video showing what I did for Personal Portfolio 2, which is creating a mod for a game that already exists. I chose to do this because a lot of internship and job application requirements ask for you to have experience with modding or adapting a pre-existing game, so I figured why not do that for my portfolio and give it a try. So I chose one of the games I really enjoy. It's called Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, and it's quite an old game, and the whole company that owned it went bankrupt, started a new company which also went bankrupt, and now there's only a small community that's still making mods and playing it and having their own server. So through them I've been able to get access to all the files which are stored in .scds, which is kind of like a WinRAR file, but you can't edit anything in it, so you have to unpack it and then update it manually. So this game, it's an RTS game. You have one main commander and that can build and fight, and you have to build your base, build units. You can upgrade it in 3 different tiers, tier 1, 2 and 3, and I chose to add a new unit to the tier 1 units of the Aeon faction, which is probably not very clear, but I'll just show it in a minute. This is what the file structure looks like. It's an absolute unit to find anything in here, really. But after a long time of just searching through the files and looking at them and trying to figure out what was what, I kind of figured out what abbreviations mean. U is just a unit, A is Aeon, because that starts with an A, and L is land. And for example, this is B, this is a building. I have no clue what C means, but I just changed one land unit. I added the 106. And here we have a Lua script, which is a very short script which just says which weapon it has, which class it is, and imports the standard files. It's a tier 1 land scout, which is cool. And then I only recently found out there's a blue.bb, a blueprint file, which has a lot more information, like all the audio files that it uses, the buffs that it gets when it kills more units, it levels up, and eventually it gets health regen as a bonus. This thing says where in the building queue in the factory it shows up, its icon. These are some of the categories. It's you can build it with a tier 1 factory, 2, 3, and it's selectable, it's Aeon, it's mobile, land, tech, direct fire, yeah, all that. There's collision, there's display with the animations. I tried to add my own animation, which worked at one point and now no longer works, which is too bad. Yeah, walk animation, movement effects. It has a ground kick-up effect that makes a little smoke when you step on the ground, because it's a walking robot that I made. Yeah, it's just economy cost, Intel interface, life, selection size, the weapon it uses. That was difficult to figure out. I tried changing the weapon that it uses, but I ended up just keeping one of the weapons that it already had, and you have to actually give the names of the bones that you use in your armature to tell the game from where it shoots and how it aims, and yeah, it has a lot of options. And when it gets destroyed, it also has like a wreckage thing, but I just kept the default one. So that's the whole blueprint bit, which is, man, I don't... Lua code is weird, and it took me a long time to figure this out. And then we have, this looks like a Blender file, but it's not. It's a Supreme Commander mesh file. So if we open that up real quick. So in order to actually import a Supreme Commander mesh, I had to install an add-on to do that. So now I can import a subcom mesh and also subcom animation. So just go to desktop portfolio 2, units. This, I've done this so many times by now and it's horrible. But this file structure is needed for the game to work for some reason. So here we have the model that I made. I basically just put some legs on a robot that we made for Runaway Ray, which is a game from last project. And yeah, I also animated it, which I can show by importing an animation just on top of this thing. Somehow it merges together magically, which is cool. But there's still lots of things I don't understand about how it works. So it just has like a really short 11 frame long walking animation. I really tried to stick to other walking animations that were in the game already. Those were also 11 frames long, so I figured, yeah, I should stick to that. Yeah, so that was that file. And then for the textures, there's no PNGs or anything. No, it's .dds files, which again, I needed a plugin for to be able to open them in Photoshop. And even the previews here are really weird, because this is not what the texture looks like at all. If you go to a different one, for example, it doesn't show the... Here, this is, for example, how they should look like, probably. But let me just open this, my texture. I textured it in Substance Painter, because that's really the only way I knew how, and it did work, mostly, but not completely. So, that one can't be found, because it's changed the name. So let's just open up this albedo, and it's 256 by 256, which is really small because it's such an old game. And it's a really small unit, so you can have like 3,000 of them on the screen at the same time if you want. So they really had to make sure that the scale of the texture was not too big. And well, this is just color, not that interesting. But it was also like a lot of trouble to find out how to actually open the DDS files. Yeah, because also for this, there's no documentation about how to mod this game or online tutorials or anything. You really had to figure everything out by yourself or by asking the people who had done it before. But they also don't have much like online presence. It's not a big community or anything. It's mostly just one guy that I kept messaging that helped me out figuring out how things worked. So let's, I guess, run the game. Let's go to Steam. I'm just gonna hit play. It's really a pain to test because there's no error log, or there's no development tools. You don't know where things are going wrong. It's not giving you errors. It's just either not showing up in the game or showing up in the game but not shooting, or oh, not campaign. Let me just start a quick skirmish like I've done 1,000 times now. Launch. So this is the game, which is really cool. I like it a lot. It's very old. Yeah, so you just start off with your dude, and you build a factory. And this one right here, the flare, is my unit. I used an icon from a different unit. I'm just gonna make 3 of them as soon as this factory is done. And then also one of each other unit to kind of compare them with. There's probably no need to explain this whole game. Nah. Go build the thing. There it comes. So, as you can see, it really slides over the ground. It doesn't have any animation for the movement at all, which is really too bad. But overall, it does look okay. Except for that the front here has like this weird red hue, so there's something wrong with the textures, but I haven't been able to find out what exactly. Maybe it's something with the UVs, but so this is, for example, a tank that was already in the game. Try to stick to the same color scheme with the white, red, and black. Now these tanks are of course bigger than a walker unit. Take for example the walkers from Star Wars, the one that the Ewoks captured and everything. So this is kind of one of the smaller tanks. It's a land scout, and I think it's kind of close the way they look. Not perfect resemblance or anything. And let me just move them real quick to show that they can shoot stuff. Should probably move these there as well. Just show that the weapons work, I guess. Because that was kind of difficult to get it to work as well. I tried to add more weapons, but that didn't work out and just stopped shooting altogether. And yeah, I just don't have any options to find out how to do things other than asking people online that also do this, but that's not a lot of people. So as you can see, they fire like this sonic weapon, and as you can see, they do turn their heads to follow the target that they're shooting at, which is pretty cool, I think. And yeah, compared to other weapons, I think it's pretty unique-ish. So yeah, that was kind of what I did. I can just Alt F4, yes. So that's cool. And like I said, at one point the animations did work, which I luckily recorded. So here's a bit where you can see the animations actually working. They used to walk, and well, didn't look great, but it's it was functional. It worked, and it was cool. So yeah, there's that. And I think that was it. All in all, it was a lot of trouble to figure out all these various game-specific file types and figure out how to open them and figure out how they worked, what Lua script did. I had to dig through all these files to kind of get an understanding of how things were linked together, which was a pain. And yeah, I still have a lot to really polish here, but I did get my model in the game like I wanted. I did get an animation in the game, did give it a texture, and yeah, that was it. Cool. So yeah, that was it.